Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we will learn about some more input types. Let's say we have to create this sign up form. It has different types of input fields. For name, we've got the text field. For email, we've got the email field. For password and confirm password, we've got the password field. For gender, we've got the radio buttons. For security question, we've got a drop down. For the security questions answer, we've got a text area or a text box. To accept terms and condition, we've got a checkbox, and then we've got a button for register. So let's start designing this. So to create a form, we need the form element. So let's add that. Let's bring this up. So the first one is full name. So let's add that. So full name, break line, so that we can get the input field on the next line. So input type text. Let's give it a name, say full name. Similarly, let's add it for password and confirm password. So here, let's say password, and then we've got confirm password, and the type would be password. Same goes here, and the name will change. This would be password, and this would be confirm password. Let's save this much and let's run it in the live server. So as you can see, we've got the full name, password, confirm password. We missed the email, so let's add that as well. So div email break line, because we want the input field to be on the next line. Our input element for email, the type would be email. Let's give it a name. Let's say email. Let's save it. And now we've got the email field as well. Also, let's add this heading. So let's say H1 sign up. Let's save it. Let's zoom in a bit so that it's more visible to you guys. All right, so now the next one is radio buttons for gender. So let's add the label first. Now to create radio buttons, we will be needing the input element, just that the type would be radio. Let's give it a name, let's say male. And let's give it a value, say male. So when someone selects this radio button, so this value will be sent to the backend, which would be male. So let's give it a label, say male, and close the input tag. Let's save it. So coming back here, and as you can see, we've got our first one. Similarly, let's add it for female. Let's change the name and let's change the value. Similarly, let's add it for others. So name other, value other, and the label as well should be other. Let's save it. And as you can see, we've got our radio buttons. Now the next one is the drop down. So let's see how to add that. So again, div, let's add the label, which is security question. So for drop down, we've got another form element. It's called select. So let's add that here. Let's give it a name. Let's say security question. So just to reiterate, the purpose of this name is to be the key when we send our form data back to the backend. Now let's save this. So as you can see, we've got an empty drop down. So when you click, there's nothing to show. So let's add some options. So to add an option, we've got another form element, which is called option. So let's add that. Let's give it a label to this option. So let's add our first question here. So what was your first pet name? Let's save it. And as you can see, we've got a drop down here with just one value. also we need to add the value here so that when this data is sent to backend, so backend would know what the value is for the option. So let's say first pet name. Similarly, let's add another option. So let's say first job. So what was your first job? Let's save it. Let's add another. So let's say nickname. So let's say what is your nickname? Let's save it. So coming back here, when you click here, so you see a drop down with 3 values. And you can just select the value and that will be set. All right, so the next one is the text box for the answer. So let's add that. So for text box, we have another form element called text area. So text area, let's give it a name, say answer. Let's save it. Coming back here, as you can see, we've got a text box. We can change the dimensions by giving some attributes. So you can define number of rows. So let's say we want 6 rows. So as you can see, the forms, this text box height increased. And similarly, let's say we want more columns, let's say 30. And as you can see, it increased. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 rows means 6 lines. All right, so moving on to the next one, which is terms and conditions checkbox. So to add a checkbox, first let's add the label. So let's say, actually we don't need a label here. So we can simply just add the input element. So for checkbox, again we use input element, just that the type is checkbox. Let's give it a name. Let's say terms, conditions. Let's give it a value. Say accept. And let's give it the label here. So I agree to accept terms and conditions. Let's save it. So coming back here, and as you can see, we've got our terms and conditions checkbox here. Now, time for the last one. Let's add our submit button. So let's create an input element. Let's give it a type. Let's give it a type, say submit. Let's give it a value, say register. Let's save it. And as you can see, our form is ready. That's all for today, guys. If there is something that you did not understand, feel free to drop a comment and we will discuss it. See you in the next video. Bye and take care.